Say hello, everybody. Welcome to Rick's Tech Pub on let's see if I could do this on hard Tuesday, October 28th. Got it right. How's everybody doing today? I'm not liking today's weather. It's raining. Like I said in the title of my video today, it is raining and it's going to be raining all day, so that's what my day is going to be like. Ken Stout Live is first, looks like. Here's the Greg ISM according to my screen. Yeah, you are first, Ken. Yep. Hello, John. Ken Stout Live. Hand radio call sign. Okay, 3 strikes and I'm out. John, what are you talking about? What did I do to get 3 strikes? You might want to clarify that, because I don't think I did anything to get 3 strikes. Not yet, at least. John, I'm not going to do anything that's going to get me banned from YouTube. I don't have that intention. Hello, Ski Man. Yeah. Hello, Jake. And hello, Charlie. Yeah, I don't know how many days of rain we're gonna get here, Ski Man. I just know it's raining today. Could be raining tonight and tomorrow, but I don't think it's gonna be raining tomorrow. But it could be. Hello, Jeff. So if a lawn dog would show up, I wanna snap a few words at him. Yeah, I know. Cyber CPU and Bright Tech got his second strike too. I think you guys knew that before I did. I found that out this morning. So, now that we're on that subject, I guess I have to jump ahead of what I was going to talk about, but being that you guys are talking about it, yeah, Cyber CPU got his second one. Bright Tech got his. A lot of misinformation out there. I don't know which way it's going to go, but yeah, there's just things you can't do on YouTube anymore. The kind of content that people are making nowadays, YouTube is changing that. They haven't exactly explained why yet, but showing people how to do things on YouTube, and that's what YouTube is pretty much primarily is a how-to channel. Channels, usually, they show you how to do things. They tell you how to do things. But to be honest with you, this is why I never started doing it. People's telling me, get on YouTube, show us how to do something. This is why I didn't do that. I saw the writing on this 3 months ago. And this is exactly why I'm not doing it, and I'm not going to. Because when Microsoft themselves told us how to get around the Microsoft account and how to do all that fishy stuff, I thought myself and said, yeah, what are the odds? Microsoft told us how to do that, but they're going to tell YouTube to block everybody that's showing people how to do that. Is now Cyber CPU is starting to think that Microsoft is behind this. And I'm not going to say either which way. I don't know, and really, I don't care. It's not happening to me. But this is exactly why I'm not doing how-to videos, and I'm not going to exactly for this reason. This is exactly the reason right here today why I'm not doing how-to videos. That's exactly why, because I had a feeling this would happen 3 months ago. I had a feeling in the back of my head. I said, what are the odds and what are the chances that YouTube is going to start putting strikes against people for doing that? Yeah, I was thinking to myself, do you really think they're going to start doing that? Here we are today. They're doing just that. So I saw the writing on the wall a long time ago. That's why I'm not doing how-to videos. I'll do talking head videos like this because I can't get in trouble for this. But the how-to videos, they're going to start putting community strikes against everybody for doing that. The CEO, whatever his name is, started saying that they're going to start putting, what's the guy? vidIQ or something like that on his, on YouTube. Started saying that YouTube is going to start broadening what they're going to start putting strikes against people. So, for now, I'd start being careful as to what kind of content you're putting on YouTube until YouTube comes out and says the kind of videos you can put out, what they're going to allow and what they're not going to allow. Right now, it's very unclear as to what they're stopping and what they're going to let people keep doing. But the way it looks like right now, they're going to start going after everybody. It sounds like they're going to... and here's the other thing. AI doesn't care what you make. They care how you make it. And one of the things they're going to start allowing is AI content videos. Videos that are made from AI. They'll allow you to do that. But to what extent? That's what this guy in the vidIQ didn't explain. They're going to start allowing people to do AI videos, but exactly on what? They didn't say anything about that, so I don't know. YouTube is starting to kind of starting to get under my skin a little bit because they're starting to go after content creators that I watch on YouTube. And these people are starting to get community strikes. And I don't think it's just those two they're going to go after. I think they're just showing those two as an example. And then they're just going to start rolling up their sleeves and saying, okay, let's go after everybody on YouTube. And they're going to put AI out in front of it. They're going to start watching the content. And if it doesn't like your content, you're going to get a community strike. Or a warning. Most likely, they're not going to do the warnings anymore. I think they're done with the warnings. They're just going to put community strikes against you. And I don't know what kind of content they're going after. But it sounds like they're going to start going after people that are showing how-to videos. They might just be putting a stop to that. I think there's restructuring what YouTube is doing and the kind of content they want on YouTube. But I thought YouTube was a how-to channel. It looks like YouTube's changing it. It's not a how-to channel. It's... I don't know what it is anymore. Because if this is what they're going to start doing... I don't know. It's a little worrisome to me, so... If I were to start doing how-to videos and showing you things on the computer as to how to do things, whether it's right or wrong, I don't think I'll do it on YouTube. I might just switch to a different platform. A platform that might allow it, but I think Rumble might even be stopping this. I don't know. I haven't talked to the people on Rumble yet. I don't know what the rules and regulations are. If someone knows how to do research on that, let me know in a couple of days. I don't know if Rumble and these X and all these other platforms you can put videos on, I don't know what their rules and regulations. If they're going to start following YouTube, well, then we're all screwed. You can't make those videos anywhere. But I don't think Rumble and X are doing that yet. I think they might start doing that. And I put the word think in quotes. Because I do. I think. I'm not saying they are going. I'm not saying it's a fact. I'm just saying I'm guessing. I'm saying they might not. I don't know. But YouTube, like I said, I saw the writing on the wall about three months ago. I said, I bet you they're going to put community strikes against people for doing this. Sure enough, that's what they're doing. Why? They're not saying. The CEO really didn't give a clear explanation as to why they're changing from this to making AI videos. He didn't really say why, but he said they're gonna start keeping. They're watching. Is what they're watching what the platform's doing, and I think this is kind of the direction they're wanting to go into. I don't know. It's just all a big. It's just a big mess, but YouTube is making it very clear that the kind of content that is out there today, they really don't want anymore. But they're not exactly saying what you can do and what you can't do without getting a community strike. Because like the guy said on vidIQ, the CEO says they're just not going to give warnings. They're just going to start putting out strikes to stop you from doing that. And like I said, this is why I'm not doing how-to videos. This is exactly why I'm not doing it. And I'm not going to. Until YouTube clearly says, and obviously they're in no hurry of doing that, but until they say exactly what type of videos we can make and what we cannot make, then they have to give a reason. A full paragraph reason, or 2 paragraphs, of exactly why they changed us, or stopping us from doing how-to videos to just basically talking head videos. I don't know if it's just how-to videos on Windows. They don't know. I don't know if they're going to stop us from doing that, or if they're stopping us from any kind of how-to video. They never did say. That's kind of what I'd like to know. And I don't want to hear from the public. I don't want to hear from people on YouTube. I'd like to hear it primarily from the CEO. He needs to come out and say, you people want to continue making videos? This is exactly how you're going to be, and this is what you have to do to stay on YouTube without getting community strikes. Nobody's done that yet, so I'm staying out of the mess. I'm staying clear out of it. And I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing now until YouTube gets off there and says, hey, you want to know what kind of videos you can and can't make? Here's the videos you can't, and they'll make out a long list. And I'd like more clarification as to why they stop people from making videos on Microsoft, on the Microsoft account. They haven't said yet. I'd like some explanation from them. They're the only ones that really know. And I'd like to hear what their reasoning is. But until then, this is the kind of content you're going to get from me, because I am not going to step on YouTube's toes. It's just something I won't do. I'm not going to get a community strike for doing something stupid and making a mistake of making a video they didn't like. And the next thing I know is I get a community strike. For what? All I was doing is telling them Microsoft is doing this. This is how you could get around it. Maybe. And they may not like me doing that, so I'm staying out of the woods on that one. And I kind of suggest you people do the same, because they are just going to start nailing everybody. That's kind of what I'm starting to hear today, is that... Really? um, it's just they're just going to start slowly going after people, and it doesn't sound like they're going to be nice about it. I don't know. I'd really like YouTube to come out and say to the entire world, the reason we're giving out community strikes to people on the Windows platform as far as getting around, they've got to come out and say why. I don't know why they did it, and I'm not going to guess. But I can assume that it could be from Microsoft is talking to YouTube. I don't know. That's just what people are starting to guess. But it would make sense if that's what's happening. That Microsoft is telling YouTube that if you see any kind of these videos giving up community strike, because we don't want them doing that, but Microsoft themselves told us how to get around the Microsoft account thing and how to get around all the other current issues they're having. They're telling us themselves how to get around it. But you do that at YouTube, and you get a community strike. Something isn't making sense. YouTube needs to come out and tell us why that is. Because I'm confused. It just does not make any sense why they're all of a sudden getting on the bandwagon of saying, you say this, you do this, we're going to give you a community strike. Why are they doing that? They didn't say why. I'd like to hear it from them as to what the hell's going on, so that I don't make that mistake. So that's my bitch on that. It's just, it's only 2 people so far, but there could be more coming. There could be a lot more coming. That's what the guy said. They may have only started at a handful of people, but once they started, they're just gonna get that ball of wax bigger and bigger and bigger until they swallow up everybody on YouTube, and everybody's gonna start getting community strikes. I personally would like to know why. From YouTube. But they're not coming out and exactly saying exactly why they're doing this. And now I'm kind of wondering if the kind of content that I've made in the past, and see, the thing is, they could go all the way back to your first video, and they could start watching every single video, and if they think that is harmful or dangerous content, you could get a community strike from it. They'll go to the next video. That's harmful content, dangerous content. You're going to get community. I hope they don't start doing that, but that's the rumors on YouTube that are going around. That they could go back to your very first video that you ever made and start walking up the ladder until they get to today. You could get several community strikes. And if you get 3 strikes, bye-bye. I don't know. I hope they don't do that, because that's, to me, unfair. I think they should just go from today, give a warning, and then everybody stops doing that. But they could go back to your very first video and walk up the ladder to every video you made, and you can get a community strike whenever they think one's deemed possible to give you one. They're going to give you one. Maybe they will. I don't know. I'm just kind of repeating what I'm hearing. But if that's the case, oh boy, are a lot of people in trouble. A lot of people are just going to get wiped off of YouTube. And what I'd like to know is, why did YouTube change? Why are they starting to do this now? That's the other thing that hasn't been answered. Hello, Headstash. Excuse my bitching and moaning about YouTube, but I had a few things to talk about that I just... a little worried. I'm not so much worried about me. I'm worried about everybody else on YouTube. I don't really care about me. I'll take care of my own. It's these other people that are trying to make a living or trying to do what they think is right on YouTube, and YouTube is saying, no, you can't do that anymore. And by the way, here's a community strike. What for? I don't know. They all talk to each other, look to the financial relationship. Yeah, that's true. Look at where their political donations go. The worst thing for countries to have involved in big. Yeah, that's true, Histash. That's the general direction our world is going into, and I think YouTube's at the head of it. I think they're the ones starting it, and everybody else is just following. But yeah, you're right on that. But there's a lot of reasons for this happening. In Microsoft and YouTube talking, yeah, it doesn't surprise me. I kind of wondered if that was going on years ago. If sometimes YouTube says, or Microsoft gets a hold of YouTube, I don't think this just started. I don't think this just started in the last couple of months. I think this has been going on for over a year. And now they're just doing something about it. Now they're giving out community strikes. But I think this has been going on for well over a year. That YouTube and Microsoft have been talking, making their plans, saying this is what we're going to do, this is how we're going to do it. Now they're actually doing what they're talking about. Unfortunately. Yeah, that is true. They can do whatever they want, which is what's worrying everybody. And see, the other thing that's got me worried is YouTube is handing the reins over to AI. It's all going to be AI based. You're going to have AI videos. They're going to allow AI videos. But again, to what extent? What kind of videos can you make out of AI that YouTube's going to allow? I'm sure they're going to have their restrictions on that. But again, they haven't said anything. So I don't know. Yeah, it's been more than a year. Like I said, it's been probably a year or more. I don't know. I just know they've been talking for quite a while and working up the plan, and now they put their plan in action. And they're not going to just stop the people doing the Microsoft stuff. I think they're going to start clamping down on everybody. I was right on what I thought before. I thought, I said over quite a few months ago, I bet you they're going to start handing out community strikes for people doing this. Well, the same thing for this. They will probably. They've been making their plans, and now they're putting their plans in action. It's a little scary, to be honest with you, because there's a lot of people I know that make a lot of videos about a lot of things. But if their AI, or if Microsoft or whoever decides that that is harmful information or harmful to somebody, they could have put a stop to it. Now I don't know what content they're going after. I think they're starting off with the computer stuff, but I don't think they're gonna stop there. I think they're gonna start going after anybody that is making how-to videos, and I think they're going to stop people from doing that eventually. So I don't know. That's just what a lot of people are talking about. That's what vidIQ. That's what vidIQ said, and then the CEO of YouTube said that they're going to start allowing AI content videos, which I think is just. Yeah, that's true. It's beyond scary, and it's only going to get worse. This is just the start of what YouTube is starting to do. And it's going to get a lot bigger, and it's going to get a lot worse. And I think it's, like I said, I think it's going to hit all platforms. It's going to hit Rumble. It's going to hit X. Yeah, we're just going to have, it's a waiting game. And hopefully the content you're making on YouTube doesn't get a community strike, but I have a feeling that's the next thing that's going to come. You know, like I said, my prediction on the community strikes and this whole thing, I was right on that. Now I bet you they're going to start going after everybody that makes a how-to video. And eventually, you're going to get a community strike just for being... But you're going to get it. What's going to happen is you're going to get a community strike for doing the right thing. When you think you're just showing somebody something clear and innocent, it's not going to hurt anybody. It's nothing big to you. You've been doing it for 2 or 3 years. I have a feeling that's going to change. I have a feeling YouTube is rolling up their sleeves and saying, okay, let's clean house. Let's get rid of the people that are doing this and change the platform as to what YouTube videos are going to be. I think that's the next thing that's coming. I was right on the first guess. I think I'm right on this one. I think it's just a matter of time. They're going to start going after everybody. Except for the talking head videos like me. Just, yeah, like Headstash said, it's scary. When you think the content you are coming out with is clear and free of getting in any kind of trouble, I think that's going to change. I think they're going to start telling everybody, we don't want you doing this. You continue doing this, we're going to give you a community strike. We're going to give you a community strike after that one. You get your third one, you're gone. I hope I'm wrong. I really do. But I wasn't wrong on my first prediction that I thought they were going to start giving community strikes for doing that. I thought that a long time ago. And here they are doing it. Now I'm wondering if they're going to start going after everybody. Making whatever kind of content you make. Whether it's cooking, OBS, YouTube itself, any kind of video like that. I think eventually YouTube is going to slim that down. And they're just going to not allow it anymore. But like I said, I hope I'm wrong. But being that they're doing what they're doing now, my next prediction is they're going to start going after everyone. Eventually. Yeah, that's true, Ski Man. That's their own demise. But I think that's kind of what they've been kind of wanting to do. I think they've been warming up to this for quite a while. This is just the start of it, folks. This is just the start. They're not going to stop at this. Once they've started doing this, it's just gonna snowball. And they're on a big, huge hill that's going downhill. And it's just going to pick up speed. It's going to pick up momentum. And they're going to pick up everybody. And they're going to pick you up, spit you out, and you're going to have 1, 2, 3 community strikes. And you're done. So, yeah, it's... Maybe this is what they're wanting. I don't know. I don't... YouTube is not saying anything. That's what bugs me. They're not saying anything as to why they're doing what they're doing. They're keeping it a secret, but like I said, I have a feeling that in the months ahead, they're going to start reviewing all the how-to videos, and they're going to deem them all dangerous and whatever they're labeling they have on it, dangerous and harmful to other people, and I don't see how that could be. But that's what they're labeling it as. They haven't exactly said why they're saying that. It's also... See, and this is what a lot of people are starting to say. It's your choice. If you want to follow what that creator has shown you. If you don't want to do it, you don't have to. I think what, like Brightex said, you're going to have to put, and I don't think this is going to work. I think they're just going to swap that out of the way. But Brightex said, what are they going to have to do? Put a disclaimer on the front of their video saying this is a how-to video. And see, I don't know how you would legally write that, but not do what he's doing. He's only showing you how to do it, and they're not responsible for you screwing up your own system, which is true. They're not. But you shouldn't have to do that. You should be able to make the content you're making without getting hurt by it. But YouTube has changed their mind on that. I think Microsoft is behind it. I mean, who else would be doing it? To be honest with you, who else would be telling YouTube to change their platform and not allowing how-to videos? Who else would be saying that to them? Microsoft would be. Maybe some of their advertisers, maybe some of their whoever. It's probably a number of people that are doing this, number of agencies, I should say. Microsoft, of course, is at the top of the list, but who else under that is also telling YouTube not to allow it anymore? I'd really like to know who that is. But of course, they're not going to say. Confirmed, I believe that you are not wrong, right? Well, I kind of hope I am wrong. I hope that's not what they're doing, but from the way this is starting to look, yeah, I kind of have a feeling I am right. That this whole content thing through YouTube is going to take a drastic change. I just don't think they're going to allow the how-to videos anymore. I think they're going to eventually change as to how people do that. And if they do allow it, they're going to have a whole bunch of they're going to have a whole new set of rules. You can make this video on this, but you're going to do it by our standards. You're not going to say this. You're not going to show this. You're going to block this. You're going to black that part of it out. You're going to do this, this, and this. And if you don't, strike 1, 2, and 3. All in one. I think that's what they're going to start doing. To some people, and once other people start seeing it, then everybody's going to stop doing that. But then what kind of content can you make on YouTube? If that's what they're going to start doing, what kind of content can you make without getting in trouble? That's my biggest worry, is what kind of content can we make without getting in trouble? Without getting a community strike? That's my biggest worry. And they haven't said anything. I wish they would. I wish YouTube would come out of the woodwork and tell everybody, okay, if you haven't noticed, we've given out several community strikes to several people on YouTube. Here is exactly why we did that. It did that, and here's how to avoid it from now on. And one of them is going to be no more how-to videos. I think they're starting to claim that as being dangerous. Because some people will go out and do it, and they'll screw something up, and they can't blame the creator. And YouTube is saying, you made that content, this is what happened. So YouTube is starting to say, no more. But I don't think it's going to happen right away, but I think they're going to start rolling that up into someday. Unfortunately, that's the direction they're going in. And like I said, I hope I'm wrong, but from what I've seen so far and what I'm hearing on YouTube, and other people are starting to say that this is what they're going to do, then that really makes me scratch my head. It's like, then what kind of content can we make without getting in trouble? I'm really starting to wonder. And of course, nobody's saying anything, so it's a big guess. Is the content that you're making safe, or is it dangerous? That's up to YouTube at this point. It's not up to us anymore. Yeah, Headstash, it is about the money, but here's my concern about it. If they want the money flow, which brings up the question, why would they stop us from making videos that we're comfortable with making if they're getting money from it? Something else is involved in this that's making them do this. There's got to be more than just the money. It has got to be more than just Microsoft. There is something within YouTube that is forcing all these rule changes. I don't think it's just Microsoft. I don't think it's just the money. I think there's a couple other things involved in this, and we don't know what that is. And I'm not going to continue guessing as to what it is because I'm probably completely wrong. But as far as the content creation, I don't think I'm wrong on that. I think eventually they're going to come out and they're going to revamp the rules as to what kind of videos we can come out with. No, whether X and the other platforms start doing this, Rumble, I hope they don't, but if they do, well, then we're screwed. We're absolutely screwed, and we're under the ruling of YouTube and Rumble as to what kind of content we can make that they will allow. Because it's starting to sound like they're starting to shut off what kind of videos we can make. Which is exactly why I said a while ago, that's why I'm not doing how-to videos. Because I had a feeling a long time ago this was going to happen. And here we are. Two people, and maybe it is just these two getting nailed. Maybe it's just those two. Maybe it won't be anybody else. But they started off with those two. Who else are they going to go after? Maybe nobody. Maybe it's just those two. I don't know. But I think they're using those two as a prime example as to what's coming down the road. That's what I think. I hope I'm wrong, but I have a feeling I'm not. Yeah, it's always money. Hello, MJ. Who are they going after? Well, they're just starting off at a few people, but I think they're going to start going after everybody. They're going to start watching everybody's content, and they're going to start making up their own minds as to what's safe content and what isn't. What's dangerous content, what it isn't. What's safe on content. They're going to all put that into one bag. They're going to say this person's making dangerous, unsafe content. Put a community strike against them. I don't know. I hope I'm wrong, but I wasn't wrong on my first prediction that they were going to start doing this. I started thinking this over 3 months ago. Well, here we are today, looking at the same situation that I was thinking about 3 months ago. They are now starting to do it today. It's kind of scary. And I don't think this is the end of it. I think it's just like I said, they're going to roll up their sleeves and they're going to start going through everybody's content. They're going to say, this is unsafe, this is dangerous. They're going to give you a community strike. And if it's money driving, if they're doing this because of money, well, then it's never going to stop. If that's the actual reason they're doing this, this nightmare is never going to end. It's only going to get worse. But in the end, YouTube is going to start losing money if they start canceling channels. I don't think they should, but I have a feeling that's kind of the direction they're going in. But like I said, I hope I'm wrong. I'm hoping this is all one big huge nightmare and tomorrow we wake up and everything goes back to being normal. I don't think that's the case. I don't think that's going to happen. I think YouTube is on to us, and I think they're restructuring their whole YouTube platform is the kind of videos that we can start making that they will accept as being not hurtful, not harmful. It's certainly not dangerous. The dangerous part, I don't see how they're getting that, but they are. The thing that gets me is they're saying it's dangerous and hurtful to people's lives. It's not going to hurt their lives. If anything, it's going to hurt their computer if they follow what someone else creator tells them to do. It's not going to hurt their life. It's not going to end their life. But YouTube is kind of saying I can't remember the exact wording, but I just don't see how that could be. They do. They see how it could be that way, but again, they're not saying anything. They're not saying why they're setting it up that way. I'd like to hear from YouTube and YouTube themselves as to why they're thinking that. But if YouTube is all AI nowadays, AI driven, AI videos, there's not a human being you're going to talk to. So who knows what the reason behind all this is. I know that this is what they're going to start doing. They started going after YouTube videos quite a while ago, and when it came down to Microsoft, like I said, about over 3 months ago, I kind of wondered. I thought in the back of my head, I said, I wonder how long they're going to allow this to happen. Well, here we are today. 2 people have got community strikes for the Microsoft stuff. I don't know. Kind of worrying to me. But I just noticed it's 2:41. I got a 2:45, guys, and I think I'm going to call it quits, but yeah, MJ, I think so too. I think my content that I'm making is safe. I don't see him coming after me. But who knows? You know, it's YouTube's call. It's all about them, and they're the big show. They're the ones we have to look at. If we're on their platform, we pretty much have to do what they want. If they don't want us making that kind of content, you kind of have to stop. Maybe it's just a fluke. Maybe this is just something they stumbled upon, and maybe they'll quit. But I don't think so. I don't think so. I think this is just the beginning of the nightmare. And I think it's only going to get worse. Like I said, they're at the top of the hill, and they're just going down the hill, and they're picking up a speed and momentum, and they're stooping everybody up in the process. And then they're spitting everybody out with a community strike for the content that they thought was safe. Now they're deeming it not safe, not allowed. How much further is it going to go? That's kind of the question that I have, is how far are they going to go? I think they're going to go all the way. I think they're going to cross the finish line with a whole new platform of YouTube with AI behind it. AI videos only? I don't know. So we'll just have to keep an eye on things and see how things go. But yeah, I think YouTube is changing. Now, whether Microsoft is behind it or not, I'm not going to say yes or no about that. Other people are thinking they are, but maybe they are, maybe they're not. I'm not going to say either which way, just in case YouTube is listening to me. And YouTube, I'm not saying anything. I'm not against you in doing all this. I would just like a reason as to why you're doing it. I'd like your CEO to come out and tell the entire world what started this, why you started thinking this way, and what are your future plans going forward as to what kind of content we can make. Are some of us just in trouble, or are all of us in trouble? That's what I'd like to know. So, with that, guys, I'm done with this long rant that's gone on for 45 minutes. I'm going to shut my pie hole, and I'm going to go find something to do. Until then, guys, I hope you all have a great day. I want to thank Ken Stash, MJ, John Williams, Ken Stout, Jeff Ryman. There's someone else I'm missing here, and I can't find his name. Maybe there isn't. Charlie Purdy, Ski Man, and I'm just repeating names after this, so yeah. Tomorrow, being that I didn't get to the content that I was going to talk about today, because someone mentioned about YouTube, well, that kind of overtook everything, but I don't think you guys should worry about this right now. Don't worry about it right now. YouTube will tell us in the future what they're going to do, what their kind of content they're going to allow, and what they're not going to allow. But my prediction is the how-to videos when they're physically showing you on their screen as to how to do something step by step, I think YouTube is shutting that down. I can see the writing on the wall for this one. They started off with the Microsoft stuff. Now, if they started there, they're just going to keep going down the road. They're just going to wipe everything off the charts. So I don't think switching to a different platform is going to work, because I think all platforms are going to start doing this. If the big daddy of YouTube's doing it, then Rumble, X, and everybody else is going to start doing the same thing. If it's money involved and they're getting money for doing this, then that's exactly what they're going to do. Am I right or am I wrong? You tell me. I don't know. I'm just kind of guessing, kind of throwing my guesses out there, but from what I'm seeing, it kind of looks like that's what they're doing. But with that, guys, I'm going to go. Hope all of you have a great day, even though I threw a whole bunch of bad news at you. I hope it doesn't affect your day too much. I'm just throwing you my predictions. I'm just saying what I think YouTube is going to start doing. I don't know if I'm right or wrong. I'm hoping I'm wrong. I hope everybody can keep doing what they're doing and not get community strikes, but the way they're going, and I'm seeing everywhere on YouTube, they're getting shut down. Their channel's getting shut down. They're done. They're saying goodbye because YouTube has shut them down. I've seen in the last 2 or 3 days 6 videos where the guy or the lady has said, I'm saying goodbye because YouTube is shutting them down because of their content. So, with that, guys, you all have a great afternoon, and I'll talk to all of you tomorrow. Being that tomorrow's Wednesday, same time, same place. See you all later, guys.